right, y'all. So we're back. We had a little package delivery. So that's why it was an abrupt stop. Because I was like, well, wait, I gotta figure out a transition. But it was a great. I mean, look, we said humanity, so I'm keeping it real. But the reality also was, it was a great question though of this idea of various thinking about this idea of one day and this idea of variations of what the term excellent means. I think it's something important for us to think about, and I will be transparent and vulnerable in name and my humanity. I think I have an idea of what filmmakers do and all that, but I really don't know. So maybe we can take a little moment for those that might not fully comprehend. When you say you're a filmmaker, you're in the arts and all that you do, kind of give us the recipe behind the actual finished product of a film. What all is it that you're doing or have done? And that can be inspirational for two reasons. One, for us as alums who might be trying to figure out our alternative path and might hear what you say and say like, hey, I'm gonna try that myself. But two, for those of you that are like, actually, I might want to introduce my kids to something like this, but I don't really know a lot. You might have a kid that does the things that Torrean is about to explain, and you might say, ooh, that'd be great for me to push that kid or push that person into that. So, behind the scenes, what is a filmmaker? How does it happen? All that.
So this is one of those like kind of non-traditional paths, truly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I actually want to make more content about in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you kind of choose a life as a creative, it's very self-motivated. Quite frankly, it's pretty entrepreneurial, and you gotta have that spirit of kind of willing things to exist to really make it happen. To be honest. That said, it can look a lot of different ways, just depending on your particular skill sets. So I told you, I came into Memphis already kind of starting to study a bit of like screenwriting. Didn't have a ton of experience with the camera, but during my time in the pandemic, picked up the camera a little bit more and kind of started getting, I guess, familiar with more of the technical side of what filmmaking is. And then at that point, it was just kind of letting things happen, like write enough to come up with an idea that you like, and then make sure that you're participating in enough work in the community here, so that whenever you want to do a project, you know who to tap on the shoulder and kind of make it happen. So I made 3 short films. I've been on a feature project, couple TV series here. Really just one, because the first one, I don't really count that as much, but the second one, excuse me, the second one for Young Rock, I was kind of a day player as a PA and just really got to see a lot. But what that really looks like from day to day is just kind of getting up and, for example, as a PA, I would go on set and you're kind of like the intern on set. So you're the person who's going to run this errand, or maybe is locking down this side of the street so that nobody passes into the shot that they've already set up. When you're on more of the producer side, it's kind of removed from set, so it's more logistical and usually more related to money or just more related to the actual execution of it all. And then as a director, you're being blasted in the face with a water hose. It's just kind of everything, because you got to worry about money a little bit. You got to worry about logistics a little bit. You got to worry about your cast a little bit. You got to worry about this, you got to worry about that, which sounds a lot of very, very familiar to teachers, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the space that, you get that same kind of, I'll call it adrenaline rush, or that urgency that you have to really deal with. But you really can exercise like skills from having been in the classroom, just making sure that you shoot a film and balance all the responsibilities that come with that. So that's kind of one side of it. But again, when you choose a life as a creative, you kind of got to make it work. So it's not always just going to be your own film. That's certainly the case for a lot of the Hollywood stars that we know. They're constantly being asked to this gig, this gig, this gig.
Right.
But when you're not moving as fast as that, you got to find other things to kind of keep you afloat, keep you stable. For a while, I was working at a kickboxing gym. Yeah, I was a manager at a kickboxing gym. I taught classes there, which opened up a whole world of like combat sports and things that I can get into now, a little more removed from that. But I also, again, kind of working and gigging and making friends and relationships, found people that I thought were doing incredible work that was still in the creative space, but like more along the lines of the community side of work that I've been in touch with. So that's how I got connected with Princeton. So he does both things. So there's a product that he has on his for-profit side called the Soulful Murder Mystery. And it's really dope, and you gotta come.
Yes.
But it's basically a dinner theater experience. And you know, people come, we feed you. The moment you get there, the show starts. You know, actors are gonna greet you with whatever the theme is. So if it's a family reunion, they're gonna call you cousin or something like that. And then they come and somebody dies, and you gotta figure out who did it.
Oh my god!
And it's so much fun.
I bet it is.
And
I think I went to one of those, maybe.
Yeah. And
I don't think it was that though.
Well, you gotta come and have it because it's a whole lot of fun, and we have a very, very good time. But for his for-profit side, I'm his director of operations, which requires a whole lot of kind of organization and logistics, which is just like teaching, right?
Yeah.
And then on the other side, we will be on set sometime, and maybe I'm kind of assisting him to some degree, or maybe he has to walk off and he'll ask me to kind of run set for a moment, or maybe I've worked with a couple of the cast in other projects or on my own projects, so maybe I see a thing or two that I can talk with them about that might help them, or maybe they'll ask me for something, and kind of moving more as like a producer in that space. And if you're in the right creative landscape, it's a heavily collaborative space. So getting to contribute ideas for this thing or that thing, be it a process or a performance. Again, with the creative lifestyle, you gotta kind of be malleable, like willing to move and juggle a few responsibilities and juggle them in awkward positions. But the idea is to keep it pushing and keep moving forward, just like teaching.
I love it. I mean, I would have never thought of that connection, but yes, it is just like teaching, and I know you're awesome at it, and I know there's so many kids and so many teachers probably, honestly, who are like, I mean, look at Abbott Elementary. It's a whole series about like the whole experience, what you're doing, so you never know what your current reality could like really be setting you up for something in the future. And so that's amazing, and I hope people are listening to this and hope people want to connect with you afterwards for, I think, our kids' purposes of them being able to get this whole experience. But also just for you as an educator, sometimes it's important for you to step outside of traditional, content that you do, so that you can then get exposed, get enlightened almost, and then go back and then make a more creative way of teaching that lesson or a creative experience. I used to do theater play. I used to do a lot of different things in the classroom. Because I grew up with a very diverse, I went to a liberal arts school, but I had a lot of different experiences. And so I brought that there. But if I wasn't experiencing different things as an educator, I couldn't bring that to my kids. And the same thing for them. And I think that's really cool what you're doing.
What I heard you say just now is that you're going to audition to be on Soulful Murder Mystery.
I think I should.
I should put the word in for you.
You know what? So let me be clear. Let me tell y'all. Okay, so I went to Oxford when I was in undergrad. And we had to put on the play. I was at Oxford. What was the play? What was the doggone play? It was doing theater. It was doing Shakespeare. Anyway, I'm coming back to tell y'all. But I killed it. Everybody talked about how amazing I was. It was the best performance on that. England couldn't handle me, okay? I'm coming. I am coming. I'm coming, y'all. Y'all gonna see me. Okay. Let me get back. James look at me like, wrap it up. Okay, I'm gonna focus out. I'm focused. So, but see, that's the energy. I think that's what I'm loving. I'm loving this creative energy and this flow. Like, it's just really, Torrean, thank you for this. Thank you, seriously. This is really giving me lots of vibes. The last section we have is the pay it forward. And I think that we kind of talked about it a little bit now. But, one, thinking back in time, you're in college, that gap year maybe, or even before that, what advice would you give to our potential applicants or people who are in that same space right now thinking about joining the Corps? What would you say to them?
Just check your mindset. Actually, it was Jeannie. Jeannie, my first year LC, recommended that we read a book called Mindset, I think by Carolyn Dweck is her name. And it talks about this idea of having realizing whether or not you have like a fixed or a growth mindset. If you have a fixed mindset, you kind of limit yourself to the possibility of things kind of turning around or being better. With a growth mindset, you're always kind of looking for a way for things to move forward, and for things to, continue and be better and get better, and you figuring it out. And that's definitely the spirit that I've had to embrace as an entrepreneur and as a creative. But it was certainly a spirit that you have to possess as a teacher and as an educator. You gotta. It's not. They're gonna throw a lot of formula at you in school. Even to some degree here, as you try to get trained up by TFA, you'll get formula thrown at you for what could work. 100%. But at the end of the day, you gotta figure out what works for you in your classroom, and you can't get lost in what's not working. You gotta always be looking forward to how to make it better. And I really think when you have a mindset like that, teaching is very, very enjoyable. And it's not always gonna be like that. It's gonna really suck sometimes, especially it's December, so there are a few of our comrades out there that are thinking about running into traffic. But you take your break, you have your eggnog, you hang out with your family, regroup, recharge, and then come back and give everything you got left to the kids. And then summer comes and you start chilling again. That's the rhythm there. So I don't know. I just say make sure you're coming here with a mindset of growth and not a fixed mindset. Show grace, lead with love. And just try to have a good time. Enjoy them as much as you can, because that time passes quick too.
It goes by so fast. And so
I saw one of my students. I'm sorry, but I saw one of my students out here on the wall. I don't even know what for it.
Oh, this city here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I taught a student named Amber my first year.
What?
And Sophie did too. And I just texted her a picture before I got going here, and I was like, "Yo, guess what I see on the wall?" And it's just crazy. You see them everywhere, especially if you hang out in Memphis. You'll see a couple of them around constantly, and it's always nice to catch them.
So one of my students I taught is working for City
as
well. I said, what? She's like, Miss Hayes. I said, oh no. I said, not you telling somebody what to do. And then, but what's crazy is like you're right, but that'll be old. But I also was like, look, like it's like, wait, you're old enough to have.
Yeah, that's what tripped me out, because I was like, how are you in the workforce?
Right, that's what I'm like, what happened?
You sounds good.
Right, that's what I thought. But I think about the stories that I mean to me right back, because I saw that she got taller because I taught 7th grade.
Yeah.
But I was like that little face. I'm like, I remember that cute little face then. And she was so quiet. I think that's why I was so taken aback. I was like, you tell me what to do? But she always had that quiet power. And I think that's, beautiful. For alumnihood, though, what do you want to, in terms of other alums, what advice would you give to alums right now who are in it, who've done the core, who've been here for a little while? What is something you would tell them?
I don't know, man. There's so many of us doing so many different things, I guess to the younger ones, I'd just say, don't discredit whatever you got from the classroom and how it could apply to whatever you're doing, because it really can. For most things, if you have to exert energy to do your job, it's going to take some kind of commitment and persistence. And again, teaching, if it taught nothing else to us after completing 2 years successfully, is how to persist and how to commit. Yes. So I would say to the younger ones, trust in that. To the older ones, I would maybe say, don't forget the heart of the mission. You can kind of look at the one day all children thing and get really starry-eyed about it, and it could be kind of a grand idea, but we all kind of did it believing in it to some degree, and I guess it's kind of just never letting go of that and finding that in everything you're doing. And when you can't find that in what you're doing, then figuring out why that is. Is it because that's not what you believe anymore, or that's not what you're prioritizing anymore? But yeah, I mean, and then also enjoy your rest too. Yeah. Because teaching for any length of time is it's intense, you know, and you gotta. I don't know if this is the best way to look at it, but you know, sometimes you gotta look at it like war or something. You know, you're warring with the world against these children.
Yeah.
But you're on the kid's side. You're
Yeah.
warring with them against the world, and after people serve, you know what I'm saying. We respect our veterans. I kind of think it's like that with teachers too. You know, we gotta respect our past educators because they spent some time and gave something to the kids, and if they were true to it, then I think that's worth some respect. So.
Yes. Now, we could have a T-shirt thing coming up. I'm not gonna steal James Thunder, but that might be need to go on a T-shirt. Like, I'm a veteran of teaching. Like, I've been teaching.
I mean, I don't love to look at, like, you know, the classroom is in a war zone. These kids aren't putting you in danger. But like the spirit of it all, it can't feel like you're at war with what's going on in their world.
Yes.
And helping them find peace in that. And,
Yeah.
you know, I'd call us veterans of that kind of emotional war that's going on.
Yeah, the emotional war.
Spiritual war.
And then taking care of our babies. I mean, we fight for our babies every day. So many things coming at our babies. And you know, whether they're pre-K or 18, you know, and even I look at college students, I look at y'all, you know, y'all, I mean, I did the Corps, but when I became a part of staff, I look at y'all, I called y'all my babies because in the day, it's about protecting. You know, you have to protect because there's so much happening and going against. I love that. All right, so this is going to come out in January, and so it'll be New Year's, you know, my birthday, you know, it's going to have happened by now, you know, January 2nd. You can send me a gift, even if it's after January 2nd. You can send me a gift. But
that's when everybody's broke.
Torian, we was doing real good. Torian was like this on my list. Now Torian is going down here, y'all.
Just trying to speak facts here.
See, Torian, no, you supposed to save up. Now, see, everybody, a national holiday announcement, January 2nd. Put that on your calendar. Okay. Jamisha's Day. Okay.
Jamisha's Day.
So, what kind of things do you want us to think about in January, though? When we see this, what's something we should be considering and thinking about?
Like the people, like, what do you mean? Like me and you?
No, like, in terms of a cause or things to think about or consider for January, what's a charge you would have us do in January for ourselves as a TFA community?
TFA community. It's important to remember that there are some authentic voices in Memphis that are giving sound.
Yeah.
And I think as people who committed ourselves to the future of this city by working with kids, it behooves ourselves and the kids to listen to those voices and what they're asking for. You know, I said it a couple of times, but the organization I work with, the Prince James Project, and a lot of other really great organizations around the city, you know, are actually listening to kids. A lot of other creatives and special people around the city, like Miss Sarah Carpenter over there at Memphis Lift, and there's just a few different people that are from here that know what here needs, that are saying this is what we need, and some of them are being heard, some of them are not. And I think if we can band together as people who came here wanting to help the city and just listen to those folks and, you know, push money their way, push love their way, push energy and volunteer time their way, it only makes Memphis better and kind of starts to erase some of that trash narrative we hear about it.
100%. All right, y'all. That was so good. Like, Torrean's gonna have to come back. He's gonna come back. He's gonna come back with something. You don't know that though. But literally, I think
I gotta say too that real quick.
What?
A big part of why I stayed too is also my relationship with Sophie. It was, you know, we've been through a lot while we were teaching, and you know, that played a factor. You know, you stay for people you love, and we had something special, and wanted to stick around a little bit for that too. So.
You're welcome, Sophie. I got you. Whatever you need. See what I'm saying? Like, look, TFA helps you with figuring out your career, but also help your love life. You know what I'm saying? You can find the one. So, with that, enjoy your time, enjoy your break, and I can't wait to see y'all in the next episode.